Light tells the story.
This shot doesn't exist. It's not from any film. I built a tool that helped me imagine it, pulling its light from paintings made 100 years ago. And I did it in one afternoon without knowing how to code, using an app called Imagine Computer by Imagine.art, the sponsor of this episode. I'm a filmmaker. Every cinematographer and every film school graduate knows the best lighting solutions in history have already been found. The old masters painted them. Caravaggio understood light better than a lot of modern films do. The thing is, to use that, you'd have to carry the whole history of art in your head. So I thought, what if you could just describe a scene to a tool and it would find painterly references for you? Not by subject, but by light, color, and composition. And hand you a ready recipe for the shot. That's exactly what I built. I called it the reference room. I told the computer what to build in plain sentences like talking to a person. And it built it. And at first things came out wrong. Once I got sunny landscapes for a cold scene, once a medal instead of a painting. So I just told the agent what to fix, like a director briefing the crew. And that was that. Step by step, the tool started thinking like a cinematographer instead of a search engine. Because that was the biggest lesson of the whole thing. A tool is only as good as the eye of the person guiding it. Let's see how it works. I describe a scene in plain words and click search. The tool doesn't reach for random images of the internet. It searches real open art collections from the great museums that have released their works for free, like the Met, the Rijksmuseum, the Getty, and the huge Wikimedia Commons archive. All public domain works, so I'm using it legally. And the choosing is done by an AI model. I taught it to read a painting like a cinematographer for its light, color, and composition, not its subject. That's why for a scene by a lake, it might hand me a still life or a portrait as long as it carries the same soft light. The subject doesn't matter. What matters is how the picture is painted with light. Each painting comes back as a card, and it's a cheat sheet for a filmmaker. A thumbnail, the title, the painter, the year. One line on why this painting fits my scene, that's the work of a curator. A short light and color fragment ready to drop into a prompt, and a link to the source so I can see the original. Everything a cinematographer needs is here in one place. The ones that grab me I add to my moodboard, my visual bible for the scene. From one I take the coolness and the palette, from another the way light comes through a window. I gather them the way a director assembles references before a shoot. And here the tool does something that normally eats up a cinematographer's time. It takes the paintings from my moodboard and builds a single coherent description out of them. It doesn't just paste them together, it actually draws out the shared light and palette, reconciles them into one whole, and turns that into a ready prompt to generate the frame. The history of painting becomes a concrete recipe for my shot. And the result is meant to be photorealistic, cinematic, since the paintings are only a reference for light. I pick the aspect ratio, click generate, and voila, I have a frame. Sometimes a finished shot, sometimes a starting point for the final one. And at the end, I downloaded the file. It started with a single sentence about the scene and ended as a finished frame, built on the light of the old masters. And here's the thing that impressed me. The agent didn't just build this quickly and cleanly without a single line of code. On top of that, I could publish it right away. One click, and the tool had its own web address, ending in Imagine.art.app. No server, no developer. The reference room stopped being my experiment and became a tool my whole team can use starting today. In the morning I had an idea, by the evening my team had a working tool at hand. I didn't write a single line of code. I talked to the computer like it was my crew, and it built me a tool no one else has. Pretty cool. Check this out. The link is in the description below. If you found this video interesting, please comment, like, subscribe so you won't miss our next content. There is so much going on in AI filmmaking these days, but I'm sure I'll see you soon.